Hey everyone. Before we jump in, imagine this. You've spent years building the career you always dreamed of. You finally save enough money to buy your first home. Then, the person you trust most gives you one choice. Either quit your job or lose me. At first, it sounds like a disagreement about where to live. But the deeper she looked, the more she realized it was never about the house. It was about control. Let's get into today's story. I'm a 29-year-old woman, and until 6 months ago, I thought I was about to marry the love of my life. My fiancé and I had been together for almost 7 years. We met in college. We survived long distance, first jobs, family drama, everything. Or at least, that's what I believed. For years, we saved every extra dollar toward buying our first home. I skipped vacations, I packed lunch every day. I even worked overtime whenever possible. Finally, we had enough for a down payment. I thought this was the beginning of our future. Instead, it became the beginning of the end. One evening, he excitedly showed me a listing. A beautiful farmhouse. Huge backyard, quiet countryside. The pictures looked amazing. Until I checked the location. It was almost 3 hours from my office.
I laughed at first. I honestly thought he sent the wrong listing. But he looked completely serious. He said, "This is the one." I reminded him, I work in the city. My commute was already almost an hour. Moving there would make it nearly 4 hours every day. He shrugged. "You can always find another job." That sentence hit me harder than I expected. Because my career wasn't just a paycheck. I worked for years to become a pediatric occupational therapist. I loved my patients. I loved my coworkers. I loved making a difference. Finding another position wasn't impossible, but finding one I actually loved, that could take years. I explained all of this calmly. He smiled. It'll work itself out. Every conversation ended the same way. Whenever I brought up transportation, he dismissed it. When I mentioned future children, he dismissed that too. The nearest school was nearly 40 minutes away. No public transportation. No daycare nearby. Nothing. He just kept saying, "You're overthinking everything." Eventually, I stopped talking. Not because I agreed, because I realized he wasn't listening. Then, something strange started happening. He kept encouraging me to leave my career. "You'd make such a good stay-at-home mom. You work too much anyway. You don't need all that stress." The comments became more frequent, more direct, almost rehearsed. It didn't sound like the man I'd known for years. One afternoon, I borrowed his laptop to print some documents. His browser was already open. Hundreds, literally hundreds of videos from so-called alpha male influencers. Titles like, "How to Make Women Submit," "Why Career Women Ruin Families," "Control the Relationship Before She Controls You." My stomach dropped. It suddenly made sense. The house, the pressure, the constant criticism of my job. It wasn't random. Someone had convinced him that controlling me made him a real man. That night, I confronted him. I asked one simple question. If I refuse to quit, what happens? Without hesitation, he answered, "Then maybe we're not compatible." 7 years. Reduced to one sentence. I quietly took off my engagement ring, placed it on the table, and said, "I guess you're right." The silence afterward felt unreal. At first, he laughed. He genuinely believed I was bluffing. Until I started packing. Then panic set in. He cried. He apologized. He promised we could compromise. But the problem wasn't the house anymore. It was the fact that compromise only existed once he realized I was leaving. I moved into my sister's spare bedroom. The first few weeks were brutal. I cried constantly. I questioned everything. Had I overreacted?
Was I throwing away 7 years? Then, something incredible happened. Without the constant pressure, I started feeling like myself again. I slept better. I laughed more. My coworkers noticed. Even my family said, "You seem happier." A few months later, I received a promotion at work. I celebrated by putting the extra income into my savings account. Not for our future, for mine. Meanwhile, mutual friends filled me in. My ex started posting motivational videos online, calling himself a high-value man, complaining that modern women don't respect men anymore. Ironically, he also couldn't afford the farmhouse without my income, so he never bought it. About a year later, I bought my own home, 15 minutes from work. Small, peaceful, perfect. No impossible commute, no ultimatums, no one telling me who I should become. Just peace. Sometimes, the hardest breakup ends up becoming the best decision of your life. Because love should never require you to abandon your dreams. If someone truly loves you, they'll help build your future, not erase it. So, what do you think? Did she make the right decision by walking away? Or should she have tried one last time to save the relationship? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.